It's Holden here for Thrive Fantasy Plays here on Run Pure Sports. I got Bobby Combs with me today. Bobby, good to have you on the show. We are going to be playing in a $25 555 entry tournament. We'll pick our 10 out of 18 options. Bobby, give us a little rundown on how to play Thrive Fantasy for those that have not played yet.
Yeah, glad to be here, Holden. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Basically for Thrive, like you're picking 10 out of 18 props in the contest lobby. And they give you points for each selection, and each correct selection is worth a certain amount of points. That would kind of be the breakdown of Thrive.
Yeah, and it's player props, and it's almost like betting player props instead of the juice is points. So let's start, and we'll use Patrick Mahomes as an example. So passing yards, 300.5. So either you go over, you only get 95 points, you go under 105. And that's how the Vegas books would look at it. You get, if you go over, you're getting plus money. If you go under, you're getting some vig there. So let's just start with the first three players up top, Bobby. I wonder if you have any interest in Mahomes at 300.5 passing yards. Either way, James Conner going up against Baltimore, 72.5 rushing yards, heavy juice on the over at 110 points, and then even points on Mark Andrews at 57.5. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, so I kind of like the three unders on all of these. Right now, DK Sportsbook has Patrick Mahomes passing yards at 274. You would get 105 points if he were to go under that 300, and you can kind of see it going that way with how heavy the spread is in that game. Like there's not going to be a lot of need to actually throw the football. James Conner, 72.5 rush yards, obviously going up against the Ravens. Pretty good rush D. I think the line right now for Conner is at 62.5. So I think taking the under there as well and the 90 points would probably be my lean. On Andrews, 57.5 receiving yards. I think the true line right now for Andrews is 44.5. So the under would also be something I would look to for Mark Andrews.
And I'm going to hammer Mahomes and Conner under for us. I don't have a conviction, though, on Mark Andrews. I mean, this game can go so many ways. The Steelers are going to pressure Jackson. I expect him to run. For him, he needs to hit Hollywood Brown deep or somebody deep on his team. And, Mark Andrews, nice red zone target. I'm going to avoid that prop, though. So let's go to the next three. Yeah. Devante Adams, again, massive wind, mid-20s, gusts into the 30s in Green Bay, taking on the Vikings. That being said, I mean, we're just talking about receptions. We're not talking about yards or average depth of target. The over, you're getting just 85 points. The under is 115. Phil Rivers, I just want to throw up here. 22.5 completions. Getting a little 105 on the over, 95 points on the under. So it's, we're expecting the under there. And then Joe Burrow pass TDs. He hasn't really torn it up pass TD wise. I think it was 3 last week. He got going finally. I kind of look at this Tennessee game being a shootout. That's why over 75 points and under 125. You're getting some massive point action there on the under. Bobby, who do you got out of these three guys? Anyone?
Yeah, so I think I like the over with Rivers right now. The 24.5 looks like the true line. For Burrow, obviously Burrow's going to be really chalky in DFS. The 1.5 could make a lot of sense taking the over there. I also think it would be kind of sneaky, especially in DFS. I think the Titans will be in my player pool. Cincinnati's missing a couple starters off the offensive line. So all that Bengals chalk, that's kind of a knock there. But for this purpose, I'd kind of lean taking the over for Burrow. And Tannehill interceptions, I would take the Tannehill interception over.
Okay, that was the one. We'll get to Tannehill in just a sec. Thoughts on Devante Adams? Does he get 7 receptions or less?
Oh, I skipped over Adams.
Okay.
Yes. So, yeah, with the short area targets, I could definitely see Adams getting over 6.5. You're taking Aaron Jones out of the lineup, should be a usage bump. So I think it makes sense that Adams could see over 6.5. Even with like the wind and all that other stuff, it's just easier to get the ball up to Adams. You get separation
Okay. Well, we'll agree on one of those in Phillip Rivers, which makes me want to puke. Adams, I don't have a conviction on, so I'm not going to click it. Burrow, on the other hand, you went over with Burrow?
Yeah, I went over with Burrow, but I can definitely see a path to the under.
Yeah, I don't like the 75 points there. They shaded it so much to the under. Let's see if we can find some better values, huh? Tannehill, does he throw an interception? Yes is 90 points. If he doesn't, it's 110. Josh Jacobs, does he score a touchdown? Another huge win game. Maybe they try and establish him, get him down there inside the 5, give him the ball, let him run in. And that's why over is 80 points, under is 120. Jarvis Landry, if he scores, over 120, under 80. Let's start with Tannehill again.
Yeah, so with Tannehill, I'd probably just take the interception over 90 points. But we're not trying to pick all these, right? Like,
I got three so far. So hold on a second. So far, we got Mahomes, we got Connor, we got Rivers, and I'm going Tannehill throwing a pick.
All right.
Do you like that though? Even though Cincinnati's defense is a disaster.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have to play that.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, Jacobs getting in the box. I like that. We're only getting 80 points there, though, right?
Yeah.
But I still think that would be a play I'd be interested in.
Okay, we'll put Jacobs down. And then what about Jarvis Landry? Does he score without Odell?
Yeah, you're taking Odell out there. Yeah, I could honestly, like, I would probably go under with Landry, but I think I just want to pull up his red zone targets and see kind of where he's been, even though it would obviously be skewed without Beckham not being in the lineup. He's seen 2 red zone targets last week. I could see him getting in the box, Landry.
Okay, well, let's hit the over there. I don't think that's a bad bet at all. Josh Allen, 302.5 yards. I think a lot of that's going to depend on whether or not Stephon Gilmore is in that game, because if he's not, Diggs could have a monster game. Devante Parker's coming back here, 65.5 total yards, over 115 points. He's got a rookie quarterback and Tua making his debut. And then there's Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, man, I am probably going to have Jimmy Garoppolo in cash. At least we're sitting here on Friday, and I'm looking toward that, and it's really uncomfortable. But let's start with Jimmy G, because if he throws 3 touchdowns, it's 115 points. 2 touchdowns, 85 points. Man, this to me is the hardest prop on the board, because Jimmy Garoppolo to me is not a good quarterback, but he's playing Seattle. So your thoughts on that one, Bobby Gomes?
Yeah, so Garoppolo's coming out great in all the models. Obviously, they're forced to throw. Don't really have a ton of running backs to lean on, which would usually be how they operate their offense. I don't mind Garoppolo at all. You could take the over. He's going to throw a pick. I like the 2 TDs, so I would take the over there.
All right, so pass TDs plus interceptions, excuse me. Yeah, that's big, because he could throw 2 pass TDs. He's probably going to throw the interception too. And you're getting 115 points on that. I like that. Bobby, just personally, I'm going to fade Parker because I don't know what Tua is going to be doing today. Get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I think that's a sharp call, right? Like, we don't know what we're seeing with Tua. I'm trying to pull up, like, would Parker get Ramsey? I just don't know. And that personally really doesn't even matter to me, just because I don't have a read on what Tua is going to be doing, you know? Is he going to run for 100 yards? Is Devante Parker going to be his favorite receiver? Is it Gesicki? Who the hell is it? I don't know. So I'm just going to fade that. Yeah, I think you could fade it because it's pretty much up in the air.
Does Josh Allen get to 303 yards? 105.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, right? 35 is his total for his rushing yards, and his passing yards total is 239. So I'm going to go under there on Allen, rushing and passing. I think that's a weather game as well.
That's right. Pass and rush. You're right. I got to start throwing that other side. Sometimes the plus sign, I don't see it. All right, so we'll go under 95 points. A couple more. We got a few more guys, and this is where it gets really juicy. Russell Wilson, 24.5 completions. DJ Dallas might be their running back. I'm hitting the over here. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I like the over. Just want to pull up where he's at 26.5, the true line. So
okay, good. I like that.
Makes sense. I like that call.
We got Kamara at Chicago. Again, a big win game. Maybe they run a little bit more. Maybe they just dump it down to him because it's easier. 120.5. This is even. These are even points here. I got my lean. Which way are you leaning?
So just wanted to pull it up. It's off right now in terms of like his rushing prop.
Yeah. I got over. I think Kamara this week with Thomas likely out, Kamara could rack up 50, 60 yards receiving, can he? I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
60 in there. That's a lot, though. That is a lot.
We saw Montgomery catch all those dump offs versus Chicago. It's kind of tough to pass to the outside wideouts. So the check down obviously makes a ton of sense with Kamara. What do we have for a game script there? How much is New Orleans favored? Be interesting to figure that out.
Yeah, and I don't even think it matters personally. I actually kind of like Chicago in this game. Drew Brees on the road, going up against a good defense, horrible weather. It wouldn't, and I think Chicago stinks. They were the worst 5-1 team I ever seen. But as far as Kamara goes, now that we talk it out, I'm kind of off of it. Can we just hit under 74.5 total yards for Allen Robinson because of the weather conditions and the fact he might miss the game?
Yeah, I think that him missing the game makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Not to play him. I wonder even how that works. Like, you can obviously he'll probably be removed from the player pool, I would imagine, on Thrive if he doesn't play. But definitely a bump to Mooney and Miller.
Yeah, but I'm going with Robin. Let's just throw him on the under. We need to pick one of the next three here, Bobby. Amari Cooper, over-under, 5.5 receptions. Carson Wentz, 25. This is what I like, 255.5 pass yards. And then Keenan Allen, 6.5 total receptions. Let me tell you why I like Carson Wentz here. He's getting Jalen Reagor back. He really does have a nice connection with Fulgham. I'm not sure that we're going to see Dallas Goedert back this week. I haven't heard any news on that as of Friday, but he's facing Dallas at home. How does Carson Wentz not pass that 255? And I'm getting 105 points on that. Am I off here, Bobby? Am I missing something?
No, it's versus Dallas defense, right? Like, we can pretty much attack that. The only thing is if Philly gets ahead, which is, are they going to run the ball? But is Miles Sanders even out? They're off the slate, so he's not playing. So Boston Scott there would be someone they'd have to rely on and Corey Clement. Yeah, I could see him getting over 255 easy.
All right, so here's our picks. Patrick Mahomes, under 300.5 passing yards. We're getting 105 points there. We'll eat it with 90 points on over 72.5 rush yards for James Conner. Phillip Rivers, 22.5 completions. We go over, getting plus points. Over half a touchdown for Josh Jacobs. We're getting 120 for Jarvis Landry scoring a touchdown. Just 95 on Josh Allen, under 302.5 pass and rushing yards. Jimmy Garoppolo, passing TDs and picks, 2.5's the total. We go over at a nice 115. Russell Wilson, over 24.5 completions at even points. Allen Robinson, under 74.5, under, gets 100. And Carson Wentz, over 255.5, 105 points. I know you wanted to head into props lobby real quick. Who are the two guys you're looking at here? And I'll throw out my two guys in a moment, Bobby.
Yeah, why don't you give yours?
Okay, let's do it. So my two guys, and I've already put a big bet down on A.J. Brown this week at 64.5 yards. I don't know how he doesn't get there against Cincinnati. He's just a big play waiting to happen. He could do that on one catch. Tannehill loves him. To me, he's a top 3 wide receiver this week. I think he goes bananas against the Bengals. And then George Kittle. Like, Garoppolo's missing Deebo Samuel. So he's got Ayuk and Kendrick Bourne. McKinnon's got tired legs, I guess is what they're calling him right now. Who the hell are they going to throw to? I know who they're going to throw to. George Kittle, over 65.5. Who you got?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go Cooper Kupp, over 60.5 versus Miami. And I feel like I could have picked a better one than Cooper Kupp. Wait, let's see Brandon Ayuk instead of that Cooper Kupp one.
I love Brandon Ayuk.
Yards.
I think he's in the 50s.
Yeah, he's in the 50s. We'll go on the over on Ayuk and one more.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Let's go the over. Let's go the over on Diggs. If Gilmore sits
56 and a half.
Yeah.
That's where I'm seeing that on the market all around. So very good. Listen, use the code RUNPURE to sign up for Thrive Fantasy. They will match your deposit up to $50. The code is RUNPURE. Want to thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it. Go to thrivefantasy.com. Even easier, download the app. For Captain, thanks for running this from behind the scenes. I'm Holden. Check out Thrive Fantasy. Good luck this week and keep running pure.